Hi, and I'm going to be reviewing this things. My name is, and I'm the products. Hi guys, how's it going? I'm well, thank you for asking. My name is Nate Peterson, and still not MJ. Today I'm going to be reviewing two of the sweet solution bars from Tony's Chocolonely. Don't be lonely, Tony. I mean, we all are in this new world that we live in. But you've got loads of chocolate, so if nothing else, surround yourself with this. Now, basically, a little bit of history of this. I've not really checked these out too much in terms of the makeup of it, the recipe, the ingredients. I don't know what you want to call it, the description, the synopsis of these bars. However, as you can tell from, I mean, this one in particular is naughty. But there are 4 bars that they released under the sort of sub-brand of Sweet Solution, and they are essentially mock-ups of existing bars, and their idea is that they want to take on the established chocolate makers out there and show that they can make their products but slave-free, which is the big Tony's slogan. Well, it's not a big Tony slogan, but it's their ethos, is that they want to make chocolate producing slave-free, and they want to show that they can do what others do, literally what others do, but in a more ethical way. So they released 4 bars. This is obviously going to be a Kit Kat rip-off. I don't, rip-off's probably a bit harsh to say, but a imitation. This is going to be a Twix. This is, I would say, the least obvious, but I'm assuming it's a Ferrero Rocher. And then you've got a Toblerone. Now, on the ethical point, it's worth noting that there will be people that will say, oh, but they're not on the ethical list anymore, and they'll be kicking off. It is a big thing. I understand the arguments for and against. Ultimately, the story is they want to make things slave-free. Unfortunately, they've started working with somebody who has child labour in their supply chain. The Tony's supply chain is supposedly clean. They are supposedly getting the beans completely without any issues on their front. However, to do so, they are still paying money to somebody who does it with other customers. So other customers are buying beans from this person without that ethical bit. I understand the arguments 2 and 4. I'm not going to side either way. I can understand what they're trying to do. I don't necessarily agree with what they're doing, but at the same time, something like this is not going to be solved overnight. Small steps. It's a very difficult one. So, admittedly, when I bought these bars, that hadn't come out, I don't think. But now it has. I can't do anything about it. But I am going to review the products in terms of whether they are good or not. And ultimately, if you take them for their word, ultimately, this version of a Kit Kat is still going to be child slave-free or slave-free. So, if nothing else, regardless of whether they give money to that other person who's doing naughty things themselves, this particular bar, it's taken me 4 minutes to get to this point. I've not even opened up the chocolate bar. Right, I do apologise. I've waffled on far too long, but I thought that a bar like this needed a bit of context. Do like Tony's generally. We've had a couple of bars on the channel. Largely speaking, we're fans. I'm going to open this up. I don't really want to open up the full thing. Actually, I might just show you through the wrapper. I think you can already see we have. Now, their bar is quite a unique model. Normally, it's like got weird like shapes all over it. We can quite clearly see this has been broken down into fingers. So that helps me because it means I can get one finger out for you. Smells like chocolate. Oh. Interesting. So, I thought I'd just describe what it says in there. Belgian, fair trade milk chocolate with waffle pieces and cookie pieces. Which doesn't sound like a Kit Kat, does it? So, I was, maybe a little naively, expecting that to be a bit more like a Kit Kat in terms of design and makeup. But it wasn't. As you saw, it was just basically a chocolate finger. There's definitely some stuff in there. It's not easy to see. But while you're eating it, you definitely get some grainy texture that is like a bit wafery. And it's definitely got a Kit Kat flavour. Quite like it. Do quite like it. Would that replace a Kit Kat? No, but I don't. It's really tough to argue this, right? This 7 minutes. I can do a second bar. No, but that's because it's not a Kit Kat. It's really tough to argue this. So, yes, it's got a flavour of a Kit Kat, and yes, it's quite close. And like in the Venn diagram, it's pretty. It's really tough to do a Venn diagram. There we go. It's sort of quite overlapped quite a lot. Can't wait for MJ to do capturing this thing. It's the Venn diagram does overlap, but it doesn't have a full wafer going through it. So if I'm getting a Kit Kat, I want that texture. I want all of that. So that wouldn't replace it. Cost aside, fair trade aside, just chocolate bar versus chocolate bar. I would want a Kit Kat over that, I think. But still real tasty. Real tasty. Like I say, fan of Tony's. Good chocolates. So this is the Twix variant, which is a Belgian fair trade milk chocolate with caramel pieces and biscuit pieces. So obviously I was expecting this to maybe be a Twix. I'm suspecting that this is maybe not going to be quite as Twixy as we expected, and that maybe it's just going to have little chunks. Again, we have. Now, I'll be interested to see whether the others are doing this. This one also has the fingers, which makes sense because, again, a Twix has fingers. It's a bit melty. Yeah, exactly as I expected. So, it's not got like a river of caramel through it. It's got little caramel chunks and little biscuit chunks in it. I'd say, in a weird way, that's less reminiscent. I think because a Twix is quite basic in terms of chocolate, caramel, and biscuit. There's a lot of products that do similar things. And so Twix doesn't necessarily have an identity beyond the fingers and the actual structural integrity. So for this to have little bits of biscuit and little bits of caramel actually feels like something else. It feels like there's a bar out there that does something very similar. I couldn't tell you what. The thing that jumps to mind is a Yorkie raisin and biscuit. Obviously that's raisin rather than caramel. But it feels closer to that in a weird way than it does Twix. Does it taste like a Twix? Of course it does. It's got the three things you want. It just doesn't have the same, again, doesn't have the same mouthfeel. Same with the Kit Kat, same with the Twix. They sort of do what they're trying to do without actually hitting it. So, does that invalidate their question somewhat? Maybe. If they're trying to show, hey, we can do what you do, slave free, but they haven't done what they do. It's a tough argument. It's a tough argument. What have they made is 2 cracking bars, and I suspect the other 2 are going to be good. 2 cracking bars that taste close, that don't necessarily have the same everything. So it's really hard to grade these. I'm going to be. I feel like if I'm fair to them, people will be on my back. If I feel like if I knock them down, people are going to be on my back. So I'm going to give them 4 stars each. That could arguably not be knocked down for a little bit because, I mean, ultimately this doesn't say, like, yes, we look at that and go, that's easily trying to be a Kit Kat, and we can taste it and easily know, but it doesn't say, hey, we are a Kit Kat. So it's a very difficult argument to have about them, but 4 stars for both of them. Really nice bars. It adds to the rest of the brand in terms of flavours. Aside from all the slave-free stuff, I do actually rate these as a company or as a product maker, chocolate maker, and I would happily certainly buy these 2 again. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. I will return with a review of the other 2, like I say, which are, I sort of separate these out into high street brands, which is your Kit Kat and your Twix, and then slightly more decadent brands, your Toblerones and your Ferrero Rocher. I don't know if that's right. Maybe I'm being a bit unfair to some bars. But yeah, I thought they were a little bit more special occasion. You don't just get Ferrero Rochers and just eat them willy-nilly, do you? No, they're party food. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this, do subscribe and hit the like and do all the things. Head on over to Frutgram, head on over to other places, do the things. And bye. Chocolonely, chocolonely, I'm a chocolonely. Hi, and I'm going to be reviewing this things. My name is, and I'm the products. No, that's awful, awful. I'm Nate Peterson, and I'm gonna be reviewing these two bars from Tony's. I'm gonna be reviewing these two bars from Tony's Chocolonely.